Good day, everyone. Richard Cowperthwait for Northwest Access TV. Good to see you folks out there. Trust there are many folks out there. And great to see a couple of fine guests. Kelly Viens, the St. Albans Recreation Director, and Lee Barrett, the Program Manager for St. Albans Rec. Good to see you folks.
Yeah, great to be here.
Boy, and I should know, we're taping this show on Tuesday, June 10. And boy, summer, got busy times for you folks. I'm sure you've been busy gearing up for it, but
Always busy.
When does summer officially kick in? We got what, BFA graduation?
Yeah, this weekend.
This weekend?
So for us, our summer programming starts next Monday, the 16th.
Monday the 16th.
And
Wow.
we are, then it's off to the races. We
Wow.
are right through
tilt.
August.
All
Yeah.
the way through.
Is that so? A couple about 2 months or so?
Yeah, about two and a half
About
two and a half
two and a
months.
half
We have
even.
10 weeks of camp
Wow.
at the Hardack location and 8 weeks of camp at the Collins Pearly
Huh, wow.
location.
And I think you mentioned number. We're talking some impressive numbers for campers here. Are we not?
Between our day camp at Hardack and
Yeah.
our day camp at Collins Pearly and our Rec Rascal camp, which is 4 and 5-year-olds, and our Teen Adventure camp,
Yep.
Wow.
we've got about 250 kids a day that
that
are
right?
in programming, just in our camp
Wow.
programming. And then
Wow.
we have about 150 swim team kids, and we've got
Wow.
100 and some odd swim lesson kids every day. So it's
Wow.
between the complex and Hardack, we're a busy little place.
Wow.
Yeah.
In past years, were all the campers at either Hardack or at Hardack?
Yeah, they were all at Hardack.
Huh.
This is the first year we're
Right.
opening a second location
Oh, yeah.
at Collins Pearly
Is that
because
just
we were.
easier logistically to split it up, or?
We just ran out of space. It sold
Yeah.
out this year.
Wow.
Our camp sold out in 11 minutes. Like,
Is that-
we
is
opened
that
it for
right?
registration and it was sold out. People couldn't believe it. It was true. And we thought, what can we do? Where can we add some more spaces? So
Huh.
we were lucky enough to get to use the Collins Pearly
Huh.
to run an absolute mirror of the day we're doing at Hardack.
Oh, yeah.
Same
So
programs, same
programs.
activities, and then they get a bus ride over to the complex in the afternoon so
Wow.
they can hit Hardack Pool.
Oh, is that right?
Yep.
Wow. And staffing, boy, we're talking some serious staffing. How many folks do you hire for just your summer stuff?
So we have about 25
25 counselors.
day camp counselors.
Really?
30 lifeguards and water staff.
Wow.
Yep. And they don't
Yeah.
all work full-time, but
Right.
Yeah.
yeah, it's a sizable staff. And then we have a lot of side programs like track.
Yep.
We've got the NHL Street happening.
We'll definitely talk about that.
And that is, that some of our staff pulls double duty. They
Yeah.
might be a day camp counselor as well as
Huh.
work another program.
Wow. And staffing, again, I'm still so used to seeing everybody around here desperate for hiring people.
Well-
You did just fine staffing wise?
Just
We're
fine.
we're
Yeah.
lucky.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a good job and we have high expectations, but it's a lot of responsibility, but it's a fun job too.
Yeah.
And a lot of our staff comes back year after year after
Oh,
year.
interesting.
Even, they go away to college, they come back, they work in the summer.
Yeah.
A lot of our staff end up being teachers and then they still work the summer.
So a lot of these folks are folks you've had before then?
Yep,
Yep,
we've
a
got.
lot of returners, yeah.
Yep, a lot of returners.
Wow. So let's get into the NHL street. There's a street hockey program. This is one of your new programs.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
I told you,
super.
as a kid in Massachusetts, I love street hockey. I mean, I love what a great game.
Yeah.
Ball hockey, street hockey.
Yeah, we've done small little pocket programs of street hockey
Yeah.
before, and then a community member came to us a couple months ago and said, "Hey, there's this thing called NHL Street," which we had never heard of.
Huh, interesting. You'd never heard of it.
No, I had never heard of it before, and he mentioned it and said this would be a great supplement to ice time in the winter and the
Yeah.
spring and the fall. so we jumped on board with him and with the people at NHL Street, right away.
And so where's this happening?
It's going to happen at the complex.
At the complex?
They're going to close the parking lot. That's all right. Behind the stadium field.
Huh.
And so it'll be that we'll have 2 rinks there. They're low, kind of a vinyl side, PVC structure, which serves as the rink with goals on each end.
Oh.
And the fun thing about this is that if you love hockey and you play hockey, well,
Yep.
this will be a blast. You already know that.
Right.
If you don't play hockey, it doesn't matter because you're on your feet, not skates.
Yeah.
So and we're 6 to 14 the ages?
Yeah, so the program officially goes from 7 to 16.
7 to 16.
Yeah, we've opened it up kind of. We've cut a couple ages off just because there's not as much interest in the older group just yet. But we're starting at 7 and going up to 14 years old. So
7 to 14.
yeah, right now, yep.
And this is a national program. Do you have to? Does it cost you money to do this? Do you have to pay somebody for this?
Well, it more than money. It was quite a
Lots of
process
time.
to get approved and to go
Really?
through the vetting process.
Really?
So that took some time, and it was
Yep.
great. We've learned about their program. They want to know about you and to make sure you're going to represent the program well.
Do they provide you with stuff? Do you
Oh,
get
yeah.
something you
So
obviously?
we purchased the equipment.
Okay.
And then every kid, for the Jamboree, so we're doing two different things. We're doing a Jamboree, so people on June 30th, so kids can come and just check it out,
Check
see
it
what it's
out.
all about.
Yeah.
And then we're running a summer league. And kids who sign up for the summer league get an official NHL street hockey shirt,
Really?
and they can choose the team. They're all NHL teams, so
Really?
they can pick their team, and they'll get a jersey to match
Wow.
their team. And it's really, I mean, it looks like such a great, fun program.
Yeah, and the cool thing
That
about it
sounds
is,
great.
of course, the jerseys for the teams are all already cool with the logos and stuff, but
So
these.
these are really cool
Oh,
jerseys.
Yeah.
Oh, these are
Yep,
like
they're
like
These are legit.
they're like street design. They've got
Really?
like kind of spray paint stuff on them. They've got different designs. It's all kind of crooked and cool, and there's really vibrant colors and stuff for each jersey. And the dasher boards, which Kelly was talking about, that actually make up the arena itself.
Yeah.
They're just colorful and bright.
Really?
Yeah, it's really exciting and fun.
Yeah, it just looks like a party. You look
It's a party.
over and like, what is going on over there? It
Yeah.
just looks, it looks great.
And how long a program is this?
Well, we see it going on and on. I mean, in the
Yeah.
summer, I think it's so great to be able to be outside, but when it comes fall, winter, if we can find, indoor spaces, we could run it year round. And we can do
Wow.
it, we can do the league, and that's 6 weeks on Monday nights.
Right.
But we can also do like all these pop-up events. Maybe, one day at the farmer's market, we can block off part of Church Street and have
Interesting.
just let people just check it out and play. And
Wow. So you hadn't heard? How did you?
No.
Did you just read about this or something, or where did this
no,
come from?
Adam Ruthier is
Adam
one of
Ruthier, yeah.
our rec parents, and
Yeah.
he
Huh.
found out about it
Really?
and brought the information to us.
Yeah, he coaches and has coached for a long time
Yeah.
hockey. Yeah, and had heard about it and brought it to our attention, and we jumped right on board. And so he's super stoked and kind of in the mix with us as well. So
Wow.
yeah,
Getting back to the camp, how much does it cost for a kid to jump into the camp? Is that an issue? Are there some kids who just don't even try because of money issues? Or
Day
so-
camp?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Back to day
Yeah,
camp.
okay.
Sorry.
Day camp is $215. Am I right?
that sounds about right. Yes.
Something
a
like
week.
that.
But we've partnered with MRUSD this year. So for 5 weeks out of the summer,
Yeah.
if you are a family that qualifies for free lunches,
Yeah.
then it's free.
Oh, really?
MRUSD will cover the cost for that.
Wow.
It's through a grant
Yeah.
that they've applied for. And then if you are simply an MRUSD student, you go for half price. So that just makes it so accessible for
Wow.
families. And then there's the Warner Foundation.
I was gonna say that's
Yeah, that
Warner
is
Foundation.
a charitable fund for families to apply for, and they distribute all kinds of scholarships for camps as
Yeah.
well as other programming.
Yeah.
So most kids. So it sounds like money shouldn't be an issue for most kids. They can.
We can,
No,
Okay.
no, it shouldn't
we
be.
can direct them
No.
in different ways.
Yeah, we
for
don't want
sure.
that to be a barrier for them to have a great summer.
Right.
So.
If you had even more spaces for day campers, could you have sold? Could you have had hundreds more and stuff? Obviously, you run into logistics and staff.
We
Yes.
we love to grow,
Yeah.
but we like to do it in a
Easing
manageable
into
way.
that.
Yes, so that we don't.
And this has grown over the years, I
yes.
assume. The
100%,
big
yeah.
time.
So we love our program. We're
Yeah.
proud of it. We want to keep the quality high, and
Sure.
we want every kid's experience to be the same, regardless of where you're at.
Yeah.
So we're We have, I don't think we've quite doubled this year, but close to it.
Really? Just from last
yeah.
year?
Well, when I
Yeah.
And
started,
you have two
4
places
summers
now,
ago,
too.
there was 60 or 70 kids at camp, and now there's 120
Wow.
at Hardack. So,
Yeah,
so
and another
we've doubled that, another
65,
60.
yeah.
So we've really
Yeah.
grown our numbers. big
Is
time.
each day different? Is it the same routine? Each day of the week is a bit different? I mean, there are
I
changes?
mean, there are different, there is a routine in the morning.
Yeah.
Kids get dropped off from between 7:30 and 8:30.
Yeah.
And that's kind of some free time. They can talk with their friends, go play on the field and wait for everyone to get there.
Any food for them when they
Oh,
show
yeah,
up? Or?
well, not so, we do have breakfast, but usually they play for a little bit.
Yeah.
Then they have morning meeting,
Yep.
and Chloe Lumbra is our day camp director, and
Yeah.
she lets everybody know what is gonna happen that day,
Yeah.
and what we're doing. They have breakfast, they break into groups, the groups rotate through activities. They have lunch, they head to the pool for a while. We've got the beautiful new playground, so it's a,
Right, you got the
you
new
know,
playground.
it's kind of the same routine, but it's different activities.
And lunch, is a decent lunch?
Yep, lunch is
Yeah.
provided through the school.
Yeah.
It's the
Huh.
federal free lunch
Oh,
program.
really?
And they deliver breakfast and lunch.
Oh,
Kids are
wow.
welcome to partake, or they can bring their own, or,
Yeah. Interesting. And when does their day end? So they're there 7:30 to 8:30 in the morning and
and then they leave at 4:30.
4:30.
4:30? Boy, it sounds like a
Long
pretty
day.
good.
9
pretty-
days, 9 hours rather.
Yeah.
Wow, good full day.
They sleep well at night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I wanted to mention the Weldon. How's the Weldon doing these days? Again, it's, as we've talked about, unreal. St. Albans has something Burlington doesn't have. I mean, that's unbelievable.
It's, we're
As an-
proud
as
of
an
how
movie
much
theater.
work we
Yes.
put into
And I know
bringing
personally,
it.
Kelly, I've seen you in action there yourself. It sounds like you
But
put a ton.
we all
Yeah.
really rolled up our sleeves and got that place clean and refreshed.
Yeah.
And
Right.
and now we have an amazing manager, Tim Haddock.
I met him a few
He
times.
is
Yeah.
so creative, has great ideas.
Yeah.
It's revitalized, and it's a
Totally.
great thing.
So how are you doing for, are folks coming? Are you getting
Yeah, I mean,
decent?
we are doing all right, and we're like this towards the end of the fiscal year. We should be able to break even,
Yeah.
and
Is
that
that-
was the hope.
Is that right? You're
Yeah.
looking to break even?
Yep.
Wow.
And Tim is also really able to look ahead and with the mechanics of the theater. It's
Yeah.
old. We've done so much replacement of
Really?
servers and audio and just lots and lots of repairs. And we're on track to make several more repairs in July.
I think I've asked you this before. I'm sure you'd obviously like to get as many people from anywhere as you can. Do you
Right.
think you're pulling in some people from the south, Milton, even maybe Burlington, or Hardin? I don't
It's
know
hard
how
to-
you'd know that.
Hard to know where those people come from. We do
Yeah.
know, like at the pool, we know many of our members come from all over.
Is that right?
All over Franklin County, Chittenden County.
And even
We have
beyond.
several from New York. We
Really?
have, yeah. So we do know in general that
Yep.
recreation, the disc golf course,
Right.
Hardack.
Well, I'm thinking of
Interesting.
theater specifically, like there's a lot of schools that use it as a school field trip. And
Yeah.
so we know we have groups from Milton and Burlington and
Right.
and Georgia and
Really?
stuff. So yeah, from people from all around. Yeah,
Wow. So
Yeah.
you think you're really faring okay? Did you have
definitely.
real doubts about whether you could pull off the Weldon in terms of?
I had super excitement about it, and that kind of ebbed a little bit as we realized the depth of
Yeah.
it needed a lot.
Yeah.
But no, I mean it's I'm super excited about it. Still am. I love how Tim has just taken the helm. I love his, being able to. You have to maneuver around booking agents
Yeah.
to get films, and there's so many restrictions, and
Yeah.
he's really good at figuring out how to get a film
Yeah.
for X amount of time, and
And I love, I've caught some of the kind of the special films, Jay
Right.
Craven's movie, I caught Jay there some months ago.
Sure.
And that other great movie, I forget, of course, the name, about the Vermont farm kid who goes off to war. That was tremendous, with a great scene. I guess the good folks in Franklin, the Gates family with their telephone company came through with the scene with the old, telephone.
there have been some great
venue, but-
independent films.
Yeah.
And I know, and it's skipping my mind who the creator of the Raleigh film was.
Oh, it sounds like I was out
Oh.
of town for that. Sounds like you didn't you pack the place for a
Mike.
couple
For 2 nights, yeah, I
two
think
nights?
3 nights, actually.
Really?
But, so
Yeah,
I
it was good.
believe
Very good.
that's coming back this fall,
Oh,
and
really?
that filmmaker has made 2 other similar movies of
Really?
local athletes.
Wow.
And it's gonna run as a series this fall.
Well, that should get you a ton of people again.
Absolutely.
No, so it sounds like the Weldons, I mean, it sounds like it's a pretty viable, I
Yeah.
know I had some friends who said, what is the city doing? You gotta be kidding me and stuff,
Yeah.
but.
Well, and
They
and
are a
that's.
little
I've
crazy,
been blown
so-
away that St. Albans has had a downtown movie theater, thanks
Well,
to
you know, and
the
I-
Gamashes for their many years.
Yeah, and I think you don't realize how important those kind of things are until they're
Yeah,
gone, you know?
yeah.
A lot of people really miss that bowling alley, and I didn't realize, I'm not a bowler, didn't
Yeah.
realize the hole that created.
Yeah.
And I think that losing the theater would have been unfortunate. You know, it's nice to be able to just walk downtown and go to a movie.
Yeah, and was there some, or is there some hope to do more than movies in there? Seems like, was that the original thought, that maybe, I don't know if you're talking plays, but is that, anything else happen besides movies here at this point?
We've certainly talked about it, and
Yeah.
we've talked about some renovations that would create a small stage for some other kinds of activities.
Yeah.
Nothing solid yet, but
But
we've
some-
talked about all kinds of options.
Video games,
Yeah.
video
Oh,
gaming
yeah.
or something like that would be a good option, yeah.
Interesting. Well, so the pool, I'm talking about Viens, is the pool in pretty decent shape, just
Pool is
financial.
great,
Yeah.
actually. Yeah.
Dome
many-
off, ready to rock.
Is this, boy, I'm probably off by a year, is this like third year?
Third, yeah.
Third year?
Yep.
Wow.
And it's, it's great. This was taking the dome off and putting it on is quite an undertaking, and this
Yeah.
year was the easiest ever. And
Is that
that's
right,
thanks.
as people get more used to doing that, or?
I don't know, it
know.
didn't, we didn't, every now and then you run into glitches, something breaks
How
or.
long does that take to do that?
The prep for it probably takes a couple of days.
Yeah, it's a week from start to finish,
Yeah.
because you
Is that right?
you got to take every piece of
Wow.
equipment off the pool surface.
It has to be
You gotta-
completely flat.
You got to
Wow.
cover the surface, then you got to prep the outside. So it's a lot of work. Yep.
But that's work, so it sounds like the pools work pretty well.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
pool's great.
Definitely.
Oh, and membership, your membership numbers, are they solid, are they?
They are,
Yeah.
and again, they're people from all over.
Yeah.
Really, it's not, there's certainly a lot of St. Albans people who, some families are at the pool every afternoon.
Really?
It's just like where they spend their summer, and they love it.
Yeah,
And there are, people from all around Franklin County as well who have memberships that come in
Yeah.
and, twice a week, 3 times a week, and spend the day. That slide, that's a big.
Gotta have it.
Is that right?
Yeah, drawing point. Some kids will come to the pool and they'll literally spend their whole day going up
Really?
the stairs and
Really?
down the slide, up the stairs and down the slide. It's just a lot of fun.
do you, is there a capacity issue there? I assume,
We
does
have
that
had-
ever be an issue? Is that
Yep.
ever an issue?
We've had, if I remember right, 5 days where we've had to,
No, really?
yeah. Because usually we can, if there's kind of an, ebb and flow, people come in early, they may not, if it's especially a sunny, hot day,
Yeah.
they may spend a couple hours and leave, other people come, but on those
Yeah.
days when it was like nearly 100 degrees
Yeah.
last summer or
Yeah.
the summer before, we had capacity, we hit capacity.
Really?
sure.
Do you, what is that capacity? You know what that number?
I knew you were gonna ask me, I think it's just over 300
Yeah,
in,
I
in,
might have guessed
in the
somewhere around
pool
there.
area.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's right. And of course, there's a food concession there too.
Yep.
snacks.
Um,
And then we host swim meets there, so we have a bigger, concession on
Yeah.
those nights, and, yeah.
Boy, my one question about Hardak, I guess, or one question as I head into caught some of the Ollie lectures again when I was in town. Boy, I guess the original plan was to pave the access road, and again, sorry, I'm sure that's probably.
You and everyone
la-
else asked the
last
question.
thing you want to talk about, but.
No,
but
there are
then-
built-in speed bumps, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and thanks to Public Works, they come up and,
Yeah.
and grate
And
that
grate it.
and fix it regularly, but,
Yeah.
that was one of when the vote,
Yeah.
when the town
When the
opted out.
town, yeah.
That was one of the
Oh,
things that was
really?
cut. But there are other things in the works, that there's going to be, we're looking to develop the backfields for more playing
Really?
fields. And that will bring in a lot of trucks with dirt.
Oh, yeah.
And the hope is that after that, all that trucking is done, we'll be able to pave the road, but it would make no sense to do it in advance because
No, is
those
that right?
big trucks would wreck it.
And
Yeah.
what are and what are the plans for the back fields, just to make
Playing
more,
fields,
just,
yep,
just more playing
multi-use,
fields?
playing
Lacrosse,
fields.
soccer,
Yeah.
baseball, maybe.
Yep.
So,
Interesting.
yep.
Well, lacrosse, again, just a sport that meant nothing to me in my long ago youth, but lacrosse continues to be just getting more popular. Is that kind of the biggest school sport these days, or?
Well, and it's-
Soccer's our,
Soccer is big.
soccer's
Lacrosse is
big.
also very big, and we're just wrapping up the season right now.
Yeah.
Shout out to the coaches
Yeah.
that
Wow.
put in their time to do that. But yeah, I would say, 200 kids for lacrosse this
Is that
season
right?
or so,
Yeah. Wow.
from 4 years old all the way up to 8th grade.
Wow,
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
And I mentioned the Alley Lectures at the Greg Brown Lodge, great place.
yeah.
So
it's-
so the lodge gets obviously plenty of use with all the folks around there.
Yeah,
It's used every day.
every day we
All right.
have someone, either we have our staff orientation happening this week, but then we have the Ollie group that comes in.
Yeah.
We have businesses that come in to do kind of a retreat kind
Really?
of meeting.
Huh.
We have weddings on weekends.
had a
we have
wedding.
Baby
Oh, really?
showers, we have wedding showers. So
Wow.
it's rented out every weekend. And
Oh,
it's
really?
rented out we have a school coming on Friday. They're gonna go to the pool, go to the playground, and they wanna have the lodge as a kind of a central spot
Yeah.
for their end of the year field trip. So
Yeah.
it gets tons of use.
Yeah. I know the hiking trails, I get up there once in a while. I live
Mm-hmm.
pretty close to it. Why I don't get up there a lot more often is beyond me, but I know you improved the signage a few years ago. Anything more that you feel like the hiking trails are in pretty good shape up
Pretty
in
good.
Hardack and
This
all
was
this hill?
a super wet spring, so that doesn't help, but,
Very wet
you
spring.
know, as things dry out, they'll get in better shape too.
Yeah.
And we'll kind of reevaluate
Yep.
what needs to be done.
Well, we're working this year to newly map all of the trails
Oh, yeah.
on the property and have so people can go to an app on their phone and see everything digitally. See the mileage on that trail. They could see waypoints like the Wolf Monument and stuff like that. So we're working on that.
The
this
Wolf
summer.
Monument, you gotta love it.
It's
Whenever I'm
pretty
up there,
cool.
I'll invariably catch the wolf marker, yeah, that's great. Now, the miles of trails up there, have you got that figure? We're talking maybe
You
five,
should know,
five-
right?
Yeah, I
You've
should
walked
know.
them all.
I'm-
Maybe like 5 to 10, somewhere in
I
there,
mean,
or maybe
we're
low?
probably between 5 and 8 miles of trails.
Sounds
in
about right.
total. Yep.
No, it's a great place to
Yeah.
walk and hike.
Sure.
Well, Any more new stuff on the recreation front? Sounds like you got plenty of stuff going on. You got the-
Right, we got lots of stuff, so, and just to get back to our NHL
Yeah.
street thing.
Yeah.
We've got that jamboree on June 30th.
So
So we
June
just want
30th.
everyone, just show up,
Yeah.
pre-register, so we've got.
Sign up
yeah,
at
sign
our
up.
website. Yep.
Okay.
But that's
to
gonna be.
check it out.
Yeah, it's just gonna be a
Yep.
really fun thing.
Food truck,
Or if
music.
you're like,
And
well,
that's gonna be
At Collins Pearly.
Collins Pearly.
The conference.
and if people decide, or just wanna see what it's all about, just show up and watch.
Yeah.
And then we've got the league starting afterward, and kids will register for that, and
Yep.
then there'll be, we'll put teams together, and then they'll play weekly on a team, so it's not so much a show up as it is a league.
Yeah.
And we're super excited about this whole
Yeah.
program. I think it'll be sometimes that middle school boy is a hard animal to capture, interest in.
Funny you mentioned that. That brings me back to my long ago, a couple of years as a pair at SATEC, and having lunch duty with the middles was unbelievable.
Quite the adventure, huh?
I'll never or getting him just back to the classroom. Anyway,
But yeah,
Anyway.
sometimes, that's a hard interest to capture. And I think this is, and it's not just for boys, certainly. There's certainly so many girls playing hockey or might want to just play street hockey.
Yep.
But we want, we think it's going to be a blast, and
Absolutely.
come check it out.
Yep.
wow. So it sounds like you got a pretty busy summer coming up.
Absolutely.
Yeah, summer's always busy. We spend months preparing for it, and all of a sudden, boom,
Yeah.
it's
It's
over,
here.
and we're playing soccer.
What are St. Albans town kids? Is the town still subsidized? Are they
Yep.
paying?
So anyone in St.
Yeah.
Albans, if
Yeah.
you're St. Albans City or you're St. Albans Town,
Yeah.
pay the reduced discounted
Okay.
rate. And the St. Albans Town subsidize their residents, and then St. Albans City residents subsidize the department through their taxes, so
Okay.
they receive a discount.
Okay.
But everyone is welcome. You
No,
don't
I'm
have
sure.
to be.
And wasn't Georgia subsidizing kids for a while? Are they not doing that any?
They're doing aquatic programming.
Oh, yeah. But again, you're getting obviously kids from all over Franklin County and,
Right.
and even beyond. Do you have folks who come by and check out the pool out of curiosity to see? I would think that might get some attention from some other
It does,
communities.
and-
Has
Just about
has anybody else moved on a similar pool with the dome?
Well,
There's always questions. I think
Right.
what
Got
2
the
years ago
questions.
at our state conference, there was a couple questions directed to Kelly directly about the pool.
well, and
So
this year.
she could have had her
at
own session.
Well, at our conference this year, I'm doing an aquatic session, and part of it
Yeah.
will be, everybody has questions about the dome.
Right.
At first, there was a lot of
bet.
skepticism, like, that won't last in the winter, and it won't stay warm, and all the things. And
Yeah.
it does, and it did, and it's great.
Absolutely.
And so now a lot of communities, we probably hear from 5 different groups every year.
Really?
Like, we'll call and say, hey, can we talk about the dome?
Really?
And then there's a lot of interest among the, recreation world. So we're doing an aquatic program at the state conference, and part of that time will be spent talking about, the dome and what it takes and what it costs
Interesting.
and all those things.
Has anybody else moved on it in Vermont since you guys?
I think all of a
Haven't-
sudden
no,
it seemed like,
not yet.
oh, it's possible, it's okay in Vermont, kind of thing. So there's a lot of people talking about it. There are certainly some resorts that have domes, but I don't know if
Does
any
Does
municipality.
Smugs have
Yeah.
They
Smugs
do.
have something like that?
Yeah.
Interesting. I'm sure I've asked you this before. Were you pretty confident that the dome would work, that this would work pretty well?
Well,
I'm sure there are some folks who had some concerns, obviously, but.
I had swam at Smugs lots of
yeah.
times in their dome.
Okay.
So, and it's smaller than this.
Right.
But the company, we researched the companies
And this
extensively.
is the same company that did the Smugs?
I believe so.
Think so.
But this is the Farley Group out of Ontario.
Ontario.
And they put domes all over the world.
Really?
And
So these guys have a pretty good track record.
they know everything. And while our dome seems huge,
Yeah.
it's really not compared to what
Really?
what they do. They cover football stadiums,
Really?
including the bleachers and
Really?
everything. So even though it seems gigantic to us,
Yeah.
Right.
it's really
Small
kind of
potatoes.
for what they usually do.
Interesting. So it's really worked out pretty
Yeah,
well.
it is.
Absolutely.
You step in there in February and
Yeah.
it's a balmy 85 degrees.
Wow.
It's great, and the water is great. It's just, it really has worked out wonderfully.
Lee, how long have you been with the department? I know Kelly's been there for,
100 years.
Yeah. This is my going into my 4th summer.
Fourth summer.
With the department. Yeah.
wow,
Absolutely.
impressive. Things just kind of keep getting busier and stuff, but I think you got a pretty good thing going, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, when I first started, we were opening the pool, so I think my
Right.
Now, so you go
first
back
week
to
or
the
second
pool.
week, the pool was opened up, and so that was kind of crazy right
Wow.
off the bat. Yeah, it continues to be better and better. Yeah, absolutely. I love it.
Of course, I'm always reading about cell phones. Kids in some schools banning, can kids have cell phones to the campers? Is that an issue with you guys?
It kind of is, but I understand a parent's point of view.
Sure.
The parent wants their kid to have a phone on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are weird things in the world. I get it, but
Yeah.
kids can't have them out. So they can have a phone in their
Okay.
backpack.
Okay.
Our staff can't, we have
Do you-
staff that used it for communication or to,
Right.
look up how to make an awesome bracelet out of,
Right.
stuff like that. But our staff doesn't have their phones out, and kids can have a phone in their backpack, but they can't be on it or cruising, with a phone.
And they're pretty good, they're
Yeah.
pretty good about that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So that sounds like that hasn't been too tough an issue for you.
No.
I think we keep them active enough that they
Right.
don't even think
Is that
about
right?
the phone.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah, so they're sweating and running and having a great time, and the phone doesn't exist, I think, in their world
Yeah.
during that time.
Well, it
So.
sounds like that's a big issue with schools or bigger, just
I
read
think it's a
stories
big
about
issue
those,
with
big issue.
kids in general. It's
Yeah.
too many little kids have phones.
Yeah, interesting. Down to about 30, you want to wrap things up, Kelly? So again, you got
Yeah, I
a
mean,
busy summer, sounds like you're
We've got a
well
wild
prepared for
summer,
it.
but we're super, super excited about NHL
Absolutely.
Street. We'd
Yeah.
love people to come out and check it out. Our other programming,
We've got programs
we're
all the time.
rolling with.
Yeah.
But this is brand new, and
sure.
we're really excited about it.
Great, sounds like hopefully the weather will
Fingers
start improving
crossed.
one of these days.
Let's
But
hope. Yep.
have a good summer, thanks for the time. Kelly
Thanks.
Viens, the St. Albans Recreation Director, Lee Barrett, the St. Albans Rec Program Manager. Thanks for your time,
Good
and
to
thanks
see
to my man, key guy out there, Alan Cunningham, our producer. I'm Richard Cowperthwait, thanks for catching us here on Northwest Access TV. See you next time.